Have you ever wondered how your vacation to a wildlife reserve might affect the very animals you came to see? Welcome to the fascinating world of wildlife tourism, a realm where the thrill of adventure intertwines with the splendor of Mother Nature. It's wildly popular among those of us with a deep-seated curiosity and love for the natural world. But have you ever stopped to think about how our presence might impact these wild habitats and their inhabitants? Wildlife tourism can be a double-edged sword. On one hand, it generates revenue that can aid conservation efforts, and it helps to foster a greater appreciation for wildlife. On the other hand, if not managed properly, it can disturb natural habitats and stress the very creatures we're eager to see. Balancing our desire to explore and learn with the well-being of these magnificent creatures is crucial. It's a delicate balance, but one that we can achieve with responsible wildlife tourism. You might ask, what exactly is responsible wildlife tourism? Well, let's dive into that. In essence, responsible wildlife tourism is a practice that respects and values the wild animals we encounter while traveling. It's not about getting that perfect selfie with a kangaroo or a koala. It's about appreciating these magnificent creatures from a safe and respectful distance, understanding that we are visitors in their home. Picture this. You're out in the wild, and you come across a majestic creature in its natural habitat. The thrill of the encounter is undeniable, but it's crucial to remember that we are guests in their domain. In responsible wildlife tourism, we learn to admire these beings from a distance, without disrupting their routine or causing them stress. But responsible wildlife tourism goes beyond maintaining a respectful distance. It's about promoting conservation efforts and ensuring the survival and well-being of these species for future generations to marvel at. It's about understanding the delicate balance of ecosystems and the integral role each creature plays in maintaining that balance. Education plays a critical role in responsible wildlife tourism. It's about creating an understanding and respect for the natural world and its inhabitants. When we learn about the behaviors, habitats, and threats facing these animals, we can better appreciate them and make more informed decisions during our encounters. You see, it's not just about the thrill of seeing a wild animal up close. It's about the joy of learning, the awe of understanding, and the satisfaction of knowing that your travel choices are contributing to the conservation of these incredible species. Responsible wildlife tourism encourages us to become stewards of the natural world, fostering a deep and lasting connection with the wildlife we encounter. It urges us to think beyond our immediate experiences and consider the long-term impacts of our actions. So, when you think about responsible wildlife tourism, remember this. It's about more than just seeing animals. It's about understanding them and their roles in our world. So what happens when wildlife tourism isn't carried out responsibly? Imagine the serene beauty of a wildlife habitat suddenly disrupted by the noise and intrusion of a tourist group. It's not just an uncomfortable moment for the animals. It is a threat to their very existence. Irresponsible wildlife tourism can lead to habitat destruction, a significant concern for many species worldwide. As habitats are destroyed or altered, animals are forced to move, often to places less suitable for their survival. It's not just about the physical space either. The presence of humans can disturb natural animal behaviors. Animals may be forced to alter their feeding and mating habits, or even their sleep patterns. This can lead to stress, decreased reproductive success, and in some cases increased mortality rates. For example, sea turtles are known to abandon their nesting attempts if disturbed by human activity, leading to a decrease in their population numbers. And then there's the risk of disease transmission. The close interaction between humans and wildlife can lead to the spread of diseases. This is a two-way street, with diseases passing from humans to animals, and vice versa. Remember the COVID-19 pandemic? It's believed to have originated from wildlife. Let's put this into perspective with some figures. Every year, millions of tourists visit wildlife destinations around the globe. If even a fraction of these interactions are irresponsible, the cumulative effect on wildlife can be devastating. These impacts are not just isolated incidents. They can have ripple effects throughout ecosystems. When one species is affected, it can disrupt the balance of the entire ecosystem. This can lead to a domino effect, impacting other species and the environment as a whole. These impacts are a stark reminder of why we must strive for responsible wildlife tourism. We all have a role to play in preserving our planet's precious wildlife. We owe it to the animals, to the ecosystems they inhabit, and to future generations to ensure that our wildlife tourism is carried out responsibly. It's not just about seeing the beauty of nature, it's about preserving it too. We've talked about the what and the why, now let's dive into the how. To practice responsible wildlife tourism, we must first understand that our actions, even the smallest ones, can have a significant impact on the wildlife and their habitats. Here are some practical tips and guidelines to ensure that our encounters with wildlife are respectful, ethical, and contribute positively to conservation efforts. Firstly, always follow the rules and regulations set by the park or reserve you're visiting. These rules are not arbitrary. They're designed to protect both you and the wildlife. This might mean sticking to marked trails, not smoking or littering, or keeping noise to a minimum. Remember, when we step into a natural reserve, we're entering the homes of countless species. Let's treat their homes with the same respect we'd want for our own. Secondly, it's important to maintain a safe distance from wildlife. While it's tempting to get up close for that perfect photo, encroaching on an animal's space can cause them distress and may even provoke a defensive response. Use a zoom lens for your photos or binoculars for viewing instead. This way, you can admire these magnificent creatures without disturbing them. Thirdly, resist the urge to feed or touch animals. While it might seem harmless or even kind, human food can be harmful to wildlife, and feeding them can make them reliant on humans for food. Touching animals can also transmit diseases between humans and wildlife. Let's remember, the best way to show our love for these animals is to let them live as naturally as possible. Choosing ethical tour operators is another crucial aspect of responsible wildlife tourism. Do your research before booking a tour. Look for operators who prioritize animal welfare, respect local communities, and contribute to conservation efforts. Avoid those that offer close encounters with wildlife such as petting or feeding, or those who capture animals from the wild for tourist entertainment. Being a responsible wildlife tourist also means being an informed and conscious consumer. Souvenirs made from animal parts or products can contribute to illegal wildlife trade. Instead, opt for local crafts or products that support the community and promote sustainability. Lastly, share your knowledge. Encourage your fellow travelers to practice responsible tourism as well. The more people understand and respect wildlife, the greater the chances of preserving these incredible creatures and their habitats for generations to come. Let's not forget, wildlife tourism is not just about us enjoying a unique and thrilling experience. It's also about contributing to the conservation of these species and their habitats. So let's make our adventures count. Let's make them beneficial not just for us, but for the wildlife and the planet as well. Remember, the aim is to observe and appreciate wildlife without causing them harm or distress. As we move forward, what does the future hold for wildlife tourism? The future of wildlife tourism is bright and hopeful, with responsible practices at its heart. The interplay between tourism and conservation is a delicate balance, and responsible wildlife tourism offers a sustainable path forward. It not only allows us to appreciate the beauty of nature, but also contributes to conservation efforts and the local economy. Imagine a world where your travel adventures directly support the preservation of the very wildlife you've come to admire. This is the potential of responsible wildlife tourism. It's an opportunity to contribute to the survival and well-being of endangered species, to support local communities who rely on these natural resources, and to stimulate economies in a way that respects and protects the environment. But how do we get there? The answer lies in education and technology. Education is key in promoting responsible practices, and technology can play a significant role in facilitating this. Virtual reality, for instance, can bring the experience of wildlife encounters to the comfort of our living rooms, reducing the need for intrusive human presence in delicate ecosystems. Apps and online platforms can provide information on ethical tour operators and conservation projects, empowering tourists to make informed decisions. Moreover, technology can aid in monitoring and research, providing invaluable data to support conservation efforts. Drones can monitor wildlife populations without causing disturbance, and GPS tracking can help us understand animal migration patterns and habitats, providing crucial insights for their protection. As we look to the future, we see a world where wildlife tourism is a force for good, where each of us can play a part in preserving the natural wonders of our planet. It's a future where our travels become a testament to our commitment to conservation, our respect for wildlife, and our dedication to sustainable practices. With responsible wildlife tourism, we can ensure that future generations also get to experience the wonder of our planet's diverse wildlife.